Welcome back, everybody. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and we're your hosts, Bull P and Timmy G. Our Tennessee Volunteers just punched a ticket to the college football playoffs. As far as I'm concerned, now, could something astronomical happen this late in the game? I don't think so. I think that we're in. Now, for me, it's more about can we get that first-round home game that we've all been talking about. But, P, man, you and I, we've been talking about stuff since, summertime, preseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's been calling us crazy. Everyone's saying, oh, Tennessee's not a playoff team. Georgia's, they're going to win every single ball game. There's no way that Georgia versus Georgia Tech's going to be close. There's no way that Michigan can beat Ohio State, right? You got to watch the games, folks. You got to watch these ball games. And I'm going to tell you, because we do watch these films, okay, like we break everything down. Tennessee, especially how we, came out towards the end of that game, or really after like the first couple of series, offense, defense, I would even maybe say special teams, looks great. This is a very complete football team. I love what I saw going down the field from Nico, all that good stuff. But I'm going to let y'all get to y'all's thoughts. But please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So what are y'all's thoughts on this game, man? Huge.
Yeah, I mean, hey, came out, started slow. That's something that I was kind of thinking before the game is we're going to have to kind of weather that initial storm because I feel like Vanderbilt, they're going to come out and play with their hair on fire. I knew they'd kind of have some things early on, and they did. I mean, heck, first freaking opening kickoff goes for 6. Come out, second play of the game, we fumble. So, we had everything going against us, but the fact that we're able to bounce back, settle into the game, start playing defense. I think the O-line played phenomenal today. I think Nico had all day to throw, and really has made it kind of easy for him just to keep sitting back there, waiting and find guys open. I think he played a really good game. He had that bad pick that he threw to Dante, way underthrew him on that one. But other than that, man, he played a really good game, ran the ball well, was pretty decisive. In defense, made some adjustments after kind of those first couple of series, really shut down that run game. And we just played a good game all around, man. It was nice to see some of the young guys step up with Brew McCoy being out, and then Dante went down, I think, there at the end of the first half. So, saw Mike Matthews get a touchdown today. You saw him have some good catches. And you saw Nimrod make a play or two. Chris Brazzell stepped up. So, I mean, I think all in all, man, we had a really good game. Dylan Sampson had another big-time day. So, overall, man, really proud of these guys. Find a way to get the win on a crazy rivalry weekend. Hey, we saw Georgia should have lost last night. We saw Ohio State go down. Okay, I mean, it's been a crazy weekend. We survived. Now we just sit back, kind of relax, and see where we line up at for the playoffs.
Yep. Excuse me. Tim, what are your thoughts, man?
Number one, the game started the most Tennessee way ever, right? I mean, you just can't kill BVS when you have starts like that. Look, it is what it is. I mean, the defense came out, looked a little flat, right off, like a little, I don't know, like they were out of sorts. And then after that, man, they really came in and shut them down. Look, man, it was a great game. I mean, offensive line, like you said, they just totally dominated that game. I don't believe they got a single sack, did they?
I don't think so. No
way. I don't think they got a single sack. And offensive line did great. Campbell, kind of a weird thing there at the end, like, hold on, bro. But man, hey, great game. Mike Matthews looked great. He had a good game. I hope Dante's going to be okay, and hopefully Brew's they're just resting him to get some rest for the playoffs. And we got some help today yet again. Michigan and Ohio State. I got a feeling Ryan Day is he's going to have to get that resume updated.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's going to be at Ohio State. Yeah, that seat's beyond hot.
Yeah,
like now that they don't even have Gunner Stallions and they're 5 and what were they 6 and 5 going into that game?
Something like that, yeah.
5 and 5, or 6, 5, 5, something like that.
I think they were bowl eligible, so I think they had 6 wins.
Okay,
so I think it was like 6 and 5. Now they're 7 and 5. But man, that's not good. That is not good.
I love it, though.
Ohio State fan, bro. But I love it, man. I mean, great weekend of football. I mean, it's been wild all this week. That Georgia game, you called it on Georgia Tech, man. I really thought they were going to pull that out last night.
They should have. They got robbed.
Yep.
They got hosed.
Hey, refs, they've got to come in and do their thing, right? So that's kind of the way it feels sometimes when you're seeing Georgia or Alabama. They get that lifeline, right?
Yeah.
But hey, man, those guys really, they played their heart out. Enough about them, but Vols look great, man.
Yeah. It's funny because we saw Georgia Tech go into Athens and do what we said Tennessee could have done, and we stopped doing. Run the football. I think they ran the football like 47 times for like 260 or something like that. Tennessee could have done that and beat them. That's why I cannot wait to see them again. I'm just hoping that the staff actually does what they're supposed to do. And then on defense, man, heat Carson back up. Why would we be sitting back? Either way, right? Like this season, this regular season is over for us. I do think that we will be getting into the playoffs. And if y'all are just now joining us, please do make sure to like and subscribe. And then, man, with those daggone Buckeyes losing, I've been telling y'all for the longest time, they are so overrated. They're so overhyped. I want to see them too. And now, since they just lost, they're looking at potentially having to go on the road, maybe to face an SEC team. Now, will they try to fix some things up so that doesn't happen? Probably, but that's where they're at now, right? They cannot go to the Big Ten championship as far as I understand it. So that's big. I would love to, get them inside of Neyland like we talked about last week. I would love to see that. And then, maybe after that, we get to see Georgia. I want them all. I want them all. Bring them all on. Because like both of y'all talked about, the offensive line looked really good. Our pass rush looked good. The coverage was good. That last little touchdown that Vandy scored, man, that was Boo who was guarding this guy. And, he was expecting for the pressure to get there. That's on him. But, he just kind of like gave up on, you know what I'm saying? And that's the only reason that they even scored, that little garbage touchdown towards the end. I was hoping that Tennessee would have punched one more in just to make it look even better. But we did, okay? If these people actually watch this game, they will see, hey, Tennessee was dominant in a game versus a team that beat Alabama. They went toe-to-toe with LSU in Baton Rouge. Who else did they beat?
Texas. They almost beat Texas 27.
That was yes. Our game versus Vandy, we was in control of the game. Texas really wasn't. That game was very close. So right now, you got to feel very good as a Vol fan. And also, David Sanders didn't go to Ohio State like we said. And, just everything right now, I feel like it's trending for our Volunteers. We got about 3 weeks off, y'all. So we got to make sure that everyone can get healed up. But I love what I saw. I can't wait to really get into the film and break that down for y'all. Let me get to some of these chats here real quick. Right here from Andrew Ginhall. What's going on, buddy? Says, Vandy players playing dirty. One of them just stuck his fingers in Cooper May's eyes. Yeah, I did see that. That's what happens in these games. Michigan and the Buckeyes, they got into an altercation right there at the end too. That's part of it. And hopefully he is all right. From Unsung saying that Nico tore it up today. Actually, let me get this out the way. Nico tore it up today, and he responded well after that interception. I think that Nico played very well, y'all. I know that y'all kind of touched on it. I'm gonna get to a few more of these chats. I see yours right there, Tim.
Yeah, just skip me.
Okay, so from Money Controls It All, what's going on? Saying go Big Orange. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I mean, everyone should be in a great mood right now. And then D Taylor, what's going on, D? Saying Merry Christmas to all of us. 100%.
Playoffs.
Christmas came early. And then from Anonymous Trucker saying Samson is not in any awards toss because of his fumbling. He cannot do that in the playoffs unless we're facing SMU. What y'all think about that fumble? Did y'all think that maybe Hype could have challenged that or what?
I mean, I immediately thought his left elbow was down. That was my first thought. His left elbow is, and they never really showed it again. They showed it like once maybe, but we'll go to film. I want to go back and watch that. It looked like his left elbow was down, so I don't know why that wasn't reviewed a little bit further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I most definitely think that it could have been. Let's get to this one right here from Lamons Jr. Go Big Orange, very stressful first quarter. Yep, but and that's something that we talked about too. The opening script of games, you got to let the game settle into a game. I always talk about being on the message boards and stuff. I kind of have to do it just to have a pulse of everybody. But man, people were just freaking out. Like people were losing it because they felt like we was about to blow it. And I'm so happy that Hypo got over that hump, because this was a game that, man, I was like, I don't know, because it's not starting off well. The team didn't feel like they were focused. But once again, it settles into a game. We looked really, really good. So I'm proud of everybody at this point. From G-Force, what's going on, G? Saying go Big Orange, solid win after a slow start.
Yes,
for
sir.
Sure. So, all right, so let's go through these stats right here, just real quick. Let's talk about this here briefly. So Nico, actually, let me scroll this back up. All right, so Nico, we already touched on him, man, but He goes 18 for 26 for 257 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. But I love what we did down the field. There were some things that I saw him doing, like that pick that he threw to Dante. We talk so much on this channel about, hey, man, look, Nico, on those deep balls, especially with that 12 personnel, throw it up to the middle of the field. Don't throw it like way out of bounds because no one's back there. It looked like that's what he was trying to do. For some reason, he was underthrowing passes today, which actually ended up working out better for us. But that one pick wasn't good. And then, both of y'all just touched on his legs. I think he used them very, very well.
Yes, sir.
Towards the end of the game, he saw that star player, that nickel player blitzing, and he said, all right, I'm about to keep this. Like, he knew that pre-snap. So I think that he played well. But what are y'all's thoughts? Like, I know that y'all talked some about Nico, but maybe go just a little bit further into what y'all thought about Nico today.
Man, Nico, man, going back, honestly, if you go back all the way to the Arkansas game, like after that game, there was things in the Arkansas game, you watch the film, things we saw, like looking receivers off, not staring things down, coming off of, if the first read's not there, coming off of it sooner. Since that game, I've seen improvement in those areas, and it hasn't really shown up in the stat sheet, but you're starting to see it the past few weeks, put up a lot of touchdowns, and you can tell the games, we talked about earlier, what we say, the game's moving too fast for him. It seems like it's really slowed down. Now he's in control, and he's still not putting up a ton of yards, but he's very efficient. He's making good throws. Now it's a deal. Whenever he releases the ball, you expect something good to happen on the other side of it. You know what I mean? You expect it to land in one of our guys' hands. And I mean, he's just playing great ball, man. He's making quick decisions. He's very decisive. He's trusting his O-line more. He's not getting happy feet, not trying to leave too early. He has a really good feel for when to get out and when he can stay in there. And I mean, I just love the way he's playing right now, man. He's tough, physical. He'll freaking get in your face. I mean, just everything that we expected from him coming into the season, we're really starting to see that. And this is the perfect time for him to be peaking and hitting that stride as we head into the playoffs. And hey, something else too. It was cold up there in Nashville today. He's out there, no sleeves, didn't look phased at all. So that's a great sign for him moving forward as we start to approach playoff football here.
Yeah, for sure. Tim, what do you think about Nico?
Man, honestly, I thought it was one of his best games. But that probably had a lot to do with how that offensive line just dominated them today. I mean, that was at times he just had all day to throw. The only one thing that obviously there was that one interception. That one wasn't that great. And that on that one play to Dante, when he hit Dante, coming across the middle right there, I don't know who that was. I couldn't make it out. I'm thinking it was probably Squirrel that was on their side. Like, he was wide open. There wasn't even a dude near him. But, I mean, outside of that, man, I thought he played great. Just like you said, man, whenever that star player was coming down, he saw him and he was like, all right, you go crash down. I'm going to keep this and go around you. I love that. Yeah. And I honestly think him and Joe kind of remind me, they're kind of similar in what I think that, like, they do better once they do some runs or do something, get some contact in them. That's when they start to shine, because sometimes, when Nico comes in, that first long ball of the game, it's just like it's just as hard as he could throw it, right? And but it looked a lot better, man. I mean, he was actually underthrowing his guys a little bit, and that's why we got a couple PIs and did a couple things, and the receivers looked pretty good. Overall, man, I thought it was a really good performance.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I was surprised that Vandy didn't blitz more. They just wanted to drop 8 and I guess try to force Nico into some, errors and things like that, which he only made that one. But that's a good sign for me too, because now we're seeing, because really Vandy did a lot of what Arkansas did, where you're seeing 3-4 guys playing deep with a really light box. And Tennessee said, hey, look, we've seen this before. Y'all are trying to get us to run the football, and we'll run it, like whenever we feel like doing that, but we're still going to pass it because we know where the mismatches are. So I love all of those things. I just feel like a lot of things are peaking at the correct time.
Yes.
The problem for me, it's kind of like a gift. It's kind of like a curse. It's a double-edged sword. Having 3 weeks off when, I think that right now, we're playing our best ball. You take those 3 weeks off, people can get healthy, but at the same time, it's difficult to stay as hot. So that's something that this team really needs to try to focus on moving forward. But if we play how we played today, that team, outside of like the first few series, I think that this team can beat anybody because we ran the football well. We ran it at will, and we were able to throw the football down the field. Mike Matthews comes in. He looks really good. Bishop is back healthy. He looked he looked pretty good. You know, he's probably just like a little bit rusty, but pass pro from our running backs and all that looks really, really solid. The offensive line looks better. What y'all think about Lance Hurd? I know he had a couple of false start penalties, but to me, it looked like he's kind of slim. He's kind of like slimmed down some, almost like he's been trying to like lose some weight and maybe get into a little bit better shape. But did y'all notice that too?
Yeah. I noticed. I don't know if it's because I feel like he usually has sleeves on. I don't know. Does he usually have? It's like he usually has long white sleeves on. But,
yeah.
So maybe that's what it was. But yeah, I noticed that too. He looked a little slimmer. But I mean, I think he played well. You know, had a few false starts, and then kind of had that one where he gave up a little bit of a pressure on Nico. But it was kind of a weird deal because Nico was scrambling out that way and got kind of just released from him. But I mean, he's been playing really good ball. Kind of since the Florida game or maybe the game after that, he's really turned it on. So. He's looking good, man. That whole group. I mean, Jackson Lampley comes in. He looks good coming in for who was it? Spraggs went down. He looked good coming in. Spraggs looked good. I mean, the entire O line today, I think, played. This is their best game of the year. Now, was that because Vanderbilt's D line's that bad? I don't know. You watch the film; they've been disruptive against other teams, but we really stonewall those guys for 4 quarters.
Yeah, so I think Vandy's like number 45 in sacks or something like that. So that's definitely not terrible. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's actually pretty solid, especially with an SEC schedule. Theirs has been pretty tough. Played up against Alabama and Texas, and obviously versus our Volunteers, LSU. So, they've held up versus real SEC competition. I think they've gotten pressure versus very good SEC competition. But I think that says a lot about what our offensive line is doing at this point. But Tim, what do you think about it?
I thought the offensive line did pretty good. I mean, minus a couple things I saw. Hurd, I think Hurd's playing great. Honestly, I think he's one of our better linemen. He's really, since he's got in shape, man, he's really picked it up. And when you think about that, you have to think about him as a freshman because that's basically what he is. I mean, he's not technically. But as far as playing time and so forth, he is. I mean, and he's doing really well. Ever since he got in shape, it's a shame we couldn't have had him better for the Arkansas game, or who knows? We might be looking at an SEC championship game right now.
Oh yeah.
But I thought he did really well. Spraggs, I don't know what it is. Every now and then, like a linebacker becomes invisible to him. It's like there was that one play where there was like nobody, and the guy comes late, and he was like, oh shit, that was the guy that he's by him. But look, it is the way it is. I think Cooper's been by far he has just been the linchpin for this line all season. He's just been amazing. What they say, like 25 starts without a sack allowed or something crazy like that. It was like insane numbers. Like and I think he's a guy that's going to have a very long career in the NFL. That's what I think. But the line looked great. I mean, overall, team looked really good. They gave Vandy has given. I mean, think about this. Texas only beat him by 3, right? Texas. This was the number 1 team at the time, or number 2, whatever they were at, and they only got by Vandy by 3, but. Tennessee didn't have a problem, and I love that. So that looks good for them. So How they put on Alabama?
Was it 40? Was it 34-40? What was the score of that game? I want to say it was like 30.
It was 40 to like 34, right? Something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Wow. That is so wild, man.
Man, dude. And that's the thing. Like they scored what? Really, we'll say 17 points they scored on us, but I mean they scored 7 on the kickoff. And then, the kind of that second drive was just a weird little drive. I mean, they really didn't do anything. Like, they had that quick little burst there in the first quarter. But, I mean, after that, we really shut those guys down. Like, complete domination.
Yeah. But once Banks made some adjustments, it was over for them. Yeah. Like, it was just I can't – and everybody coming into the season was like, DBs are going to be our weakness. Bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking – we've got 2 lockdown guys.
Yeah.
And even 3.
Ricky Gibson, right? Isn't it Ricky? Ricky Gibson and Jamad McCoy, like, dude, those dudes are playing. And Will Brooks, whoever thought Will Brooks was going to have, like, am I crazy to think that he might have a shot to play next level? At least get drafted, right?
I think he can for sure. Yeah. I think that he definitely can. Now, excuse me, I will say that There are some things that we talked about preseason, and I feel like teams are kind of targeting him. I don't feel like he played his best game today. It wasn't perfect, but obviously it was good enough. Like early on, I mean, if you're going to be versus these types of option teams, the way that it's typically set up is there are players who we'll just say are playing the outside. Some players will just be playing middle. So you've got to be very disciplined with that. But like whenever you get those one-on-one matchups versus a running back, you've got to make tackles. You can't let them run through you. So if you have to go low, then go low. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. I don't think that they target him as much in pass coverage today, but teams have tried to isolate him. They've tried to isolate him, run those slot fades, which is already tough enough to stop. But he is going to have to, he's going to have to continue to play with the consistency that we saw from him earlier this season, because I think that in the playoffs, teams are going to go at him. Teams will continue to try to target Boo just because he's younger. But I do think from top to bottom, of course, Will Brooks is – I mean, no one really thought that he would be playing this well, so that's great. There's a whole lot of players that did some really nice things. Linebackers felt, for me, early on almost like non-existent. I was like, where the hell are our linebackers at? But then they started figuring things out. You know what I'm saying? So everything for me feels very, very positive.
I saw Caleb Perry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Perry.
30, 38, 39.
Oh, 31? Wait. On 31 or 39?
39 is 39 is Jalen Smith, and then Perry's number 8.
Okay. I saw him come in and lay some wood. 39.
Yeah, he did.
One of those dudes. It was a tight end too, and that dude was like, oh,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, there you go, man.
He's the guy, man. He's one of our better linebackers right now, man. About 39. Yeah, he's come a long way. Coach Ainsley's doing a great job with that group, with that room.
He has done wonders. Yeah, we truly got an upgrade. The way I feel about it, and also I think, I mean, let's see. I'm not trying to bring us down a notch or whatever, but if we lose Banks, I think he will be the next defensive coordinator for UT, and I think that was a strategic move by them when they did that.
That's a good call.
I do too, and I mean, I think that he's a perfect fit. So we will see what happens once we get to that point. But do you have any other closing thoughts? Because I mean, there's a whole bunch of other games going on that I feel like we definitely need to be tuning into. I'm going to say this real quick. What do y'all think about Texas versus A&M? Who do we want to win that game?
So, I mean, for me, I don't care, because here's how I look at it. Either one of those teams, in my opinion, whether it's Texas again, whether it's A&M, I think either one of those teams is going to boat race Georgia next week. So I don't care who it is, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, so who's going to get to go play Georgia? That's what I don't care about nothing else. Who's going to get to see those guys? And I think, and here's my thing. I think if I'm really either one, I think honestly A&M is probably would have an easier time with Georgia, because we see how much Georgia struggles with mobile quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe, the guy that played Georgia Tech last night, like when you can get loose, freaking Jackson Dart lit him up. When you can get loose from the quarterback position, I think A&M can really have a big day against those guys. And the question becomes, was it 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns? How many touchdowns is it going to take to keep Georgia out of the playoffs? Like how much do they need to lose by? If they lose by 4 touchdowns, are they still in? 3 losses, you just got beat by 28 points. I mean, so we'll see. But I think they could potentially still be out. They think they're in. I think this guy could still be out. But I'm probably going for A&M. But I'll be happy either way though.
I think A&M will beat Texas. That's if we had done the pregame show and we'd done my call would have been on A&M, because Kyle Field, 12th man. And let me tell you something, man. There's some hatred. Some hatred. Like, listen, they don't like each other. There's some bad blood there, and it's going to get wild at Kyle Field. And I think it works in Texas A&M's favor that they haven't played Georgia this season, right?
Yeah.
So for Kirby's smart. I'll give him that, man. He's good with the defense. He does his thing. They make great adjustments. But so I think it's to his advantage if he plays Texas a second time. Like he's going to be ready for him. I know Sark's supposedly this wizard, and he can do all this stuff, but I think A&M, with them not having seen him, I don't know. I think A&M poses more problems for them than Texas. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Georgia wants to see Texas for that second time. It's very hard to beat good teams twice in the same season, and that's the worst game that Sark has called this entire year. Like literally. I think that Texas would absolutely destroy Georgia. I think they'd beat the brakes off of them. I think the A&M would beat them. It would be pretty close. But for me, I think that we probably need Texas to win more, because if A&M wins, with them not being in the playoff picture right now, they kind of sneak back into it. Where is that going to put us? Is that going to take away, what they try to, maybe see them higher than us because they just beat Georgia, a team that Tennessee hasn't beat? And I don't think that they would, but you just never know. So for me, I would say maybe just like keep things more how they are, just so that we can have that that first round home game, because I think that that's going to be huge for Tennessee, whoever we get to face. But you know what? That's going to be it, though, y'all. I know this was a much shorter one, but thank y'all so much for tuning in. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we will be having our day after thoughts coming out tomorrow after we break down this film. But hopefully, man, things continue to go well for our Volunteers tonight. Y'all, please do enjoy y'all Saturday and be safe. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Go Vols,
baby.
Let's go. Throw them up, P.
Yes, sir. All right.